Whenever I'm in the midst of a polite conversation with people I've just met, the inevitable question comes up. So what do you do? Despite the ambiguity, I know they're asking what I do for a living. This is commonplace since we identify ourselves by what we do to make money far more than we should. Or they're legitimately wondering what a long-haired, shaggily shaven giant does for a living aside from working at half-price books, Whole Foods, or being a musician. I break into my well-rehearsed response, I'm a high school teacher. At this, I hope my answer is sufficient. But the soul-numbing silence that follows tells me that running through their minds are the faces of the teachers they hated, the teachers they loved, and the subjects they deemed unnecessary but were forced to learn anyways. The silence is broken by the follow-up. Oh, well, what do you teach? This question is the bane of my professional existence, mostly because at this point, I'm lost. What do I teach? It's now my turn to cause the awkward silence as I summon up a response which makes sense and doesn't take the next 30 minutes to explain. In 16 years of teaching, my answer has become far more complex than when I started. In year 1, it was simple. I teach English. That's what I did. Whether my students understood it or not, I taught English. My contract read English teacher. The administrators who came to my room assessed me at my ability to teach English. But then it changed. I was assigned to teach 2 other classes, creative writing and yearbook. So am I still an English teacher or a creative writing teacher or a yearbook teacher? Am I an English teacher who also has sections of creative writing and yearbook? Is this answer way too long for their seemingly polite question that doesn't require a complete oral presentation? This was still in the easier of times in answering this question. Within the next 2 years, I added to my class list. What used to be English 1 became English 2. Yearbook expanded into newspaper, and soon I began to teach journalism and theater. What do you teach? I don't know, but I grade all the time. Since I couldn't come up with a concise answer to what I teach, the solution was clear. I will leave the classroom and become an administrator. So when I got the question, what do you do? I say, I'm an educator. This answer is even worse than my earlier ones, as the only responses I would get would be a slick change of subject or a timely discovery for a reason for my conversation partner to move as far away from me as possible. 2 years pass, I change again. Out of the office, back into the classroom. English? No. Creative writing? No. Journalism? No. Theater? No. 3 different physical education courses and leadership. I now dreaded this question even more so. What do you do? I'm a PE teacher. Now, the term PE teacher leads my polite companion to flash back to PE uniforms, rope climbs, lap running, and sometimes worksheets in history or English. So now my response became, I teach many subjects. They don't appreciate my sidestep of their simple question. The changes kept coming. English 3, English 4, theater again, reading, journalism, back to yearbook, U.S. history, only on Fridays, AP seminar, and leadership became GT independent study because apparently I needed the extra words. So when asked, what do you teach? My response is, it depends. The only alternative is I'm an English, journalism, yearbook, theater, PE, reading, leadership, GT, AP, U.S. history teacher who happens to dabble in administration. Realistically, I'm an English teacher by training, a journeyman by practice, and a teacher by choice. And I finally realized the problem isn't the answer at all, it is the question. The response to, what do you teach, is not profound and doesn't require a long-winded response. In fact, it's quite simple. I teach the students that are in front of me. All of this time, I worried about giving the right answer. It only took me 15 short years to learn that they are asking the wrong form of the question. But I'm still a teacher, so I want to offer a list of alternatives which they could ask to teachers, which would be far better. Ask us, why do you teach? Because I can respond, I love it. You can ask me, who do I teach? And the answer is my students. You can ask, where do you teach? And I'll say, wherever I'm needed. You can ask, when do you teach? And I'll say, whenever they're there. How do you teach? However my students need me to for them to be successful. But if you ask me, what do I teach? That's the wrong question. Try again. Thank you.